Some people have messaged me saying, oh, can you please do Game of Thrones history? Sure. I'm going to do one about every house, but I'm not going to start with the Starks or Lannisters. That's basic. I'm going to start with the Baratheons. The Baratheons have a fascinating, because they're a very young house. They owe their entire existence to the Targaryens. Why? Because the first Baratheon, Orys Baratheon, was Aegon the Conqueror's bastard brother. Rumoured, alleged. During Aegon's War of Conquest, where he politely introduced Westeros to dragons, Orys Baratheon was leading the charge in the Stormlands against the Storm King, Argilac Durrodon, also known as Argilac the Arrogant. Now, Argilac had a bigger army, but you know what Orys had? A dragon, being ridden by Queen Rhaenys. Yeah, it turns out dragons, even in a storm, are dangerous, but Orys is also a great warrior, and he defeats Argilac in single combat in the middle of the battle. But Argilac's daughter, Argilla, doesn't want to surrender the castle of Storm's End. The Stormlords, betray her because dragons are a very convincing argument. They deliver her to Orys, but Orys is like, hey, you're very, very nice. I'ma marry you, girl. So he does. He marries into the House of Durrandon and takes their sigil, the stag on the yellow field, and their castle, and the daughter. Thus you have the start of House Baratheon, and they are always very closely tied to the Targaryen. However, they do butt heads. Aegon the Conqueror's youngest son, Maegor, takes the throne from his brother Aenys and puts in, a state of terror. Well, he's having a cheeky war with the faith. The Baratheons back Aenys' son, Aegon, called Aegon the Uncrowned, but Maegor kills him. So they throw their weight behind Jaehaerys, who would later be known as the Old King and is probably the most successful Targaryen king. Rhaegar Baratheon is their most powerful ally, and he would become Hand of the King. However, he and Jaehaerys would butt heads because Rhaegar got a little bit too big for his boots. He marries Jaehaerys' mother, and it's a bit of a family issue. I'm not sure how to end this, but because it keeps just going on until they get to Robert's Rebellion. The whole reason that Robert was allowed to take the throne and become king is because he has Targaryen blood. But anyway, that's the origin of House Baratheon.